in streaming, but we are now all set. So, good morning, friends, and thanks a lot for tuning in to Smallcase channel on this Sunday morning. And today we have with us a very interesting personality with us, Mr. Shailesh Saraf, who has been with Smallcase for over 4 years now. Shailesh Bhai is the managing director of Dynamic Equities Private Limited and founder of Value Stocks. Shailesh has been a seasoned investor with over 3 decades of experience in Indian stock markets. And Shailesh Bhai has always been known for his mantra, and very interesting mantra, I should say, growth lena hai, but sasta lena hai. I think this is where he has always been specialized into identifying high growth and undervalued small and mid cap stocks, delivering high alpha consistently with low risk through his semi-registered portfolios on small case. So, friends, today we will like to have this session in a bit different format, unlike every Sunday. So, trying to do this session with uh, uh, 3 sections, I should say. One, definitely, we will try to understand the whole thought process behind building this strategy as a house. What value stocks think about this whole thing whenever they create a new strategy. The idea here is to understand that thought process so that investors like us build that conviction that what goes into building this interesting themes and small cases. Second section, we will try to get into specific about a concern which is playing on everybody's mind, in especially in today's market in last 2-3 months. कि market क्या लगता है, uncertainty, short term to medium term trend क्या है, and I think that is where Shailesh Bhai brings a lot of data backed insights, where he will throw some light that what he thinks about the markets in general, and of course, lastly, as always, which is the core of all the philosophy, all the strategy of value stocks, is the risk management part of it, that how we can create alpha in spite of having a very, very low risk or in a managed environment kind of thing. So this is how we want to cover the entire session for the next 45-50 minutes, and of course, we will try to take some questions as well. So thanks a lot, Shailesh Bhai, for joining in and sharing your valuable time.
Thank you, Rakesh bhai. Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for inviting me, Rakesh bhai.
So, as I just mentioned, that the first section will cover about the strategy and your small case creation process. You already have 3 to 4 amazing small cases which have a great track record on small case. So, in general, Sailesh bhai, would like to understand your whole thought process as a house, how you come up with the new themes, how you create small cases, themes, sectors, the kind of stocks. If you can just help us know that step by step process for investors to visualize and understand the whole uh, mind that goes into all this.
Thank you, Rakesh bhai. Thank you. Thank you, friends. See, friends, first is the top line approach and the bottoms up approach. So top line approach में सबसे पहले business देखा जाता है, business करता क्या है. So whenever we are investing in any stock, we try to see 3 factor को हम लोग बहुत ध्यान रखते हैं. Number 1, is the company in a monopoly or duopoly? उससे क्या होता है, समझे अगर कोई कंपनी मोनोपोली या डुओपोली में है, what happens is that the competition, another stock is not there in the market, so they have a huge competitive advantage. Okay. Number 2 is definitely we see whether they have a patent or not. Patent say they get a 20-year advantage. Okay. Number 3, we say their clientele. If a company has a big clientele, an MNC clientele, a big Indian corporate is their client, that means their product is very, very good. So first is the product study, the business study, and whether that product they have a monopoly or duopoly. इससे क्या होता है, the top line approach becomes very good. Specifically, we are interested in certain businesses which is very futuristic in nature. So वो भी हम लोग बहुत ध्यान रखते हैं that those things are very futuristic in nature. Okay, for example, right now if you study the solar is a very, very big future. One of the stocks which we are very bullish is, because we are in a public channel, please do not take it as a advice to buy it, but it is one of the stock is Shakti Pump, which if you study has been growing tremendously. Presently, that stock is available. It's down by 40% from 52-week high, and it is available at a very, very low P. I was studying right now. The present P of Shakti Pump is presently only 26. This stock has grown by 900% in last 3 years. 900%. So this is a great stock. So something like this is the new launch we have done. Discounted gems. Basically, stocks which have done very well in the last 3 years. They have a great sense of track record in terms of sales and profits. They are into great businesses with patent, great market share. And right now, because of the market condition, because of all the mandi which we have seen in the last 6 months, these stocks are available at discounted prices. But the businesses are so strong that they will still do well. So this is one of the reference of this. Then the bottoms up approach. Friends, any company you buy, they need to have a great track record of sales and profit for the last 3 years. So all the stocks which we recommend in the new Smallcase portfolio, discounted gems, they are growing in sales and profit. आज हम लोग business क्यों करते हैं? The greatest thing for the business is top line and bottom line. Whether the revenue is growing, whether the profits are growing. So we only invest in companies where we are continuously seeing growth for the last 3 years, and as the top line we discussed. So this is more or less our strategy of identifying great stocks. Thank you, Rajesh bhai.
Interesting. Shailesh bhai, that brings me to the next question, and I've always been hearing from you time and again that how data says a lot of things much before the event happens. And on a lighter note, they say, right, knowledge is knowing a tomato is a fruit, but wisdom is skipping it in the fruit salad. And I think you have been following that quote to the T, while always saying that knowledge is spotting a stock's potential, but wisdom is knowing when to invest. Now, how important is that when part of it? Especially when markets are so volatile and markets are so uncertain. And I have been I have got that privilege to know from you that how you have created a robust model of some data where you can actually see what's the market trend going forward. So it would be great, Shailesh bhai, if you can just throw some light on that interesting piece about the data part of it and how investors like us can actually use that data to get that confidence of getting into markets and investing.
Yes. So friends, एक मैं कहीं भी गया हूँ because they know I am a fund manager. तो मेरे से एक क्वेश्चन हरदम पूछा जाता है. फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन, मार्केट क्या लगता है? This is the question which everybody asks me. Now friend, ये जो मार्केट क्या लगता है, मेरे हिसाब से ये भगवान को ही 100% मालूम है. बट 11 साल से हम लोग ने एक डेटा पे काम किया है, एंड आई विल शो यू. एंड डोंट ट्रस्ट द डेटा, ओनली प्रैक्टिस इट फॉर नेक्स्ट 6 months to 1 year. क्योंकि मार्केट क्या लगता है, मार्केट का ट्रेंड is actually what you're trying to say. You are timing the market. Timing only God can do. What we have done, I've seen the greatest people have timed it about 60%. ये एक डेटा मैंने बनाया है which has a success of more than 75-80%. This data is working, and ये मैं आपसे शेयर करना चाहता हूँ. इस डेटा के बाद आपको एक मोर और लेस आइडिया लग जाएगा कि मार्केट का मूड क्या है. और मैं लास्ट 6 महीने से आपको डेटा भी ले जाऊंगा. This data is freely available on my website. Now, if you click market, if you click Nifty trend, you just have to click Nifty 10 in my website. अगर आप देखिए ट्रेंड दिखा रहा है, बाई ट्रेंड दिखा रहा है मार्केट. तो सबसे पहले आपको समझ में आएगा मार्केट में बाई ट्रेंड है. और अब ये सेल ट्रेंड कब बनेगा? अगर आप देखिए ऊपर में मैंने 3 चीज डाला है. बहुत सिंपल है बट बहुत रिसर्च किया हुआ है. देखिए ऊपर में 3 चीज. अब बाजार में सेल ट्रेंड कब होगा? When the market will be below 23,118. देखिए मैंने दिया है एग्जैक्टली निफ्टी का लेवल दिया है 23,118. स्मॉल कैप निफ्टी 15,780, 15,780. And this is the critical part, when foreign institutions will sell more than 50,000 crores. Now friend, this data is given by NSE every day in the evening. What foreign institutions are doing. Okay, this data is available. So ये डेटा को हम लोग ने डिकोड किया है टू अंडरस्टैंड एग्जैक्टली वो आज क्या किए हैं. Okay, so I'll just click the data. If you click FNO, अगर आप देखिए 2 मई को उन्होंने क्या किया, बहुत सिंपल है. सो बेसिकली फॉरेन इंस्टीट्यूशंस का जो डेटा है, ओनली फॉरेन इंस्टीट्यूशन. एंड आई वाज रीडिंग अ रिपोर्ट अभी रिसेंटली, राकेश भाई ने मुझे एक रिपोर्ट भेजा था मोतीलाल ओसवाल का. उसमें भी 17 साल का डेटा दिया हुआ है कि वेन एवर फॉरेन इंस्टीट्यूशंस बाजार में माल बेचते हैं, मार्केट ट्रेंड गोज डाउन, एंड वेन एवर दे आर बाइंग द मार्केट ट्रेंड इज अप. अगर आप देखिए लास्ट 6 महीना में डोमेस्टिक इंस्टीट्यूशंस आर कंटिन्यूसली बाइंग बट मार्केट वाज गोइंग डाउन. दे डोंट कंट्रोल द ट्रेंड because as mutual fund managers they have to put money. SIP आएगा, they have to put money in the markets. But foreign institutions and domestic institutions do not have much positions in future and options, where foreign institutions, they also play the cash market data, they play stock futures, they play index futures, the index option. ये चारों का डेटा हम लोग ने डिकोड किया है and we have put it in one figure. Okay, so अगर आप देखिए 2 मई को उन्होंने क्या किया, उन्होंने 9,100 करोड़ बेचा है. दिस इज द मेन डेटा A+B. उन्होंने 9,100 करोड़ बेचा है. अभी डेटा कैसे है, 3,176 करोड़, 3,177 करोड़ इज बॉट. इफ यू क्लिक दिस डेटा शोज उन्होंने फ्यूचर स्टॉक 111 करोड़ खरीदा है. दिस डेटा इज ऑल गिवन बाय NSE every day. This is not my data. This data I have just compiled it and put in one place. ये डेटा NSE सबको देता है बट लोगों को मालूम नहीं. Okay, they have bought cash market at 2,770 crores and index futures at 295 crores. So this comes to 3,176 crores. Now if you further click, if you want to do further analysis, now if you click future stock, this data also give what is the net long short, उनका नेट कॉन्ट्रैक्ट क्या है और डेली चेंज किया हुआ है, वो भी हमें डेली मिल जाता है. ओके, बट दैट इज अ मच डिटेल एनालिसिस. आप बहुत सिंपल रखते हैं. लेट्स गो बैक टू द प्रीवियस स्लाइड. यहां पर उन्होंने 3 मार्केट का फ्यूचर स्टॉक, कैश इंडेक्स फ्यूचर में 3,176 करोड़ खरीदा है, 3,176 करोड़ खरीदा है. गो टू द फ्रंट पेज नाउ. एंड नाउ index option, because index option is the heaviest turnover in the country, उसका हम लोग सेपरेट दिखाते हैं. They have sold 12,000 crore of index option. So the net sell is 9,100 crores. ये जो index option है, ये this is a complete research which we have done. This 12,000 crores, because the data which NSE sends us, they put buy and call buy को लोग buy दिखाते हैं, बट पुट बाय बंदी, तो वो हम लोग ने चेंज किया यहां पर थोड़ा सा, विच वी गिव यू एक्यूरेट डेटा दैट व्हाट दे आर डूइंग. ओके, सो आई विल टेक यू फॉर 6 मंथ्स कि आप बहुत सिंपली ये डेटा देख के डिसाइड कर सकते हैं कि मार्केट का ट्रेंड क्या लगता है. नाउ इफ दे, आई विल टेक यू टू 30th September. प्लीज. आप देखिए फर्स्ट टाइम 30th September को उन्होंने 25,000 करोड़ का स्टॉक बेचा था, पूरा नेट बेचा था, ह्यूज सेलिंग. देन 1 अक्टूबर को 13,000 करोड़ बेच दिए, 3rd अक्टूबर को 39,000 करोड़ बेच दिए. सो यहां पर अगर आप 3 दिन देखेंगे, दे हैव टेकन अ सेल पोजीशन ऑफ 78,000 करोड़. इफ दे आर सेलिंग 78,000 करोड़, 50,000 करोड़ का एक फिगर हम लोग ने कैसे निकाला है, अगर SIP 25,000 करोड़ है तो 25,000 करोड़ अगर वो बेचेगा भी तो बाजार गिरेगा नहीं, बिकॉज डोमेस्टिक इंस्टीट्यूशन का FI उतना बाएंगे. बट व्हेन दे सेल 50,000 करोड़, then the trend has a tendency to change, because it is double the SIP of the mutual funds and they control the trend from last 17 years. Okay, तो मार्केट का ट्रेंड सिर्फ फॉरेन इंस्टीट्यूशन करते हैं ना. फॉरेन इंस्टीट्यूशन, फ्रेंड्स, यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड, they have the highest money in the world. Today, BlackRock manages more than $11 trillion, 3 times of India. Vanguard manages $9 trillion, 2 times of India. These are the people का data आपको study करना चाहिए. They have the highest money, they have the best research, and they have the highest information also. तीनों चीज जो उनके पास है वो हमारे पास नहीं है. But what we have is what they are doing at 3:30, we will know at 8 o'clock. Okay. So what I have seen is whenever you will be with them, you will have accurately 70-80%, 100% कुछ नहीं है. ये डेटा में भी 20% कभी कभी गलती हुई है, but more or less you will be accurate. So 3rd October को मार्केट में सेल आया था डेटा देख के. Okay. Now if I go slowly up, if you study, they have not bought. जब तक वो 50,000 करोड़ वापस से नहीं खरीदेगा, मार्केट में बाय ट्रेंड नहीं आएगा. And if you study, they have not bought 50,000 crore. हम continue धीरे धीरे. एक बार 13,000 करोड़ खरीदा, then the selling was happened. Continue. 11,000 करोड़. Please continue. They have not bought 50,000 crore. Continue. यहाँ पर भी देखें. अब यहाँ पर first time 2 दिन में they have bought 52,000 crore. यहां से अगर आप मार्केट देखेंगे 23,400 से वापस मार्केट गिव अ स्मॉल कैप वेंट अप बाय 2,000 पॉइंट, निफ्टी वेंट अप बाय 1,500 पॉइंट फ्रॉम 22nd November. You can see the charts. Okay, now if they were continuously buying, if you continue, लास्ट 3-4 दिन का बाइंग ट्रेंड सेल देखना बहुत जरूरी है. उससे एक आइडिया लगता है कि लास्ट 4-5 दिन में नेट में उन्होंने क्या किया. इफ यू कंटिन्यू, देन व्हेन डिड दे सेल. अब देखिए यहां पर उन्होंने फिर 50,000 करोड़ बेच दिया 20 दिसंबर को. एंड पीपल हु फॉलो टेक्निकल एनालिसिस, दिस वाज द टाइम 200 SMA वाज आल्सो ब्रोकन. 200 SMA, वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट लॉन्ग टर्म ट्रेंड. जो बोलते हैं ना लॉन्ग टर्म ट्रेंड ऑफ मार्केट वाज ब्रोकन ऑन 20 दिसंबर. दैट इज व्हाई जनवरी फरवरी वाज लीथल सेलिंग, बिकॉज 200 SMA टूट गया एंड दे वर सेल इन द मार्केट. उसके बाद उन्होंने कभी भी 50,000 करोड़ खरीदा ही नहीं. इफ यू ऑब्जर्व, प्लीज कंटिन्यू. बाजार में सेल ही चल रहा है, कंटिन्यूसली मार्केट में सेल चल रहा है. अगर आप देखेंगे, दे डिड नॉट बाय 50,000 करोड़. एक ही दिन ये बिकॉज ऑफ द न्यूज ऑफ द इंटरेस्ट रेट कट, एक ही दिन का बाय आया था. बट अगेन there was no the selling was continuing. It was not 50,000 crore again. Continue, please. Then the buying came here of 21,000 crore. Okay, market की showed a buy at 23,000 में more or less buy बाजार हो गया था. And अभी the buying is continuing. If you study, they have not sold 50,000 crore अभी भी. If you continue, 2 दिन because of Trump में भी अगर आप देखेंगे, ये कंटिन्यूसली 4 दिन में 44,000 करोड़ ही बेचा था ऊपर में. But then again they bought 50,000 crore. Market clearly buy here.
Got it. No, this is really interesting, Shailesh bhai. I think just to give again a summarized version of this, friends, what I think Shailesh bhai has just shown us is something really, really very simple but very, very important data point, that whenever there is a consecutive days of buying as a cumulative number to the extent of 50,000 crore by FIIs, definitely the market trend is positive. Having still said that, I think there was one more interesting data point which Shailesh bhai was mentioning about the historical data, that in the year, whenever the FI is selling, of course, the market trend is always down, but the following years have always been upward trend for the markets and vice versa. And this is where I think we at Smallcase and Value Stocks is taking an opportunity, considering and respecting that trend, that this is one of the great time from a long-term perspective to invest in some great companies. And that is where this new small case has come up from Value Stocks house. And today, definitely, we would like to discuss and deep dive more into that now that we have that comfort of the market trend, because this was very important to understand the context of the markets also in general before we get into very, very specific of discounted gems. So,
I want to add one more point I want to highlight, Agesh bhai,
yeah, please.
about the trend. देखिए फ्रेंड्स, कुछ ना कुछ हरदम चलेगा. 2016 में डिमोनेटाइजेशन हुआ, 17 में जीएसटी हुआ, 2019 में देयर वाज इंडिया पाकिस्तान वॉर, 2020 में कोविड हुआ, 2022 में रशिया का वॉर हुआ, 23 में इजराइल हमस वॉर हुआ, फिर अभी इंडिया पाकिस्तान वॉर है, अभी ट्रम्प का चक्कर है. सी सम इकोनॉमिक टेलविंड, सम वॉर विल कंटिन्यू. व्हाट यू नीड टू डू इज, अभी अमेरिका गिर रहा है तो हमको डर लग रहा है क्या होगा इंडिया में, बट अगर आप स्टडी करेंगे, द डेटा गिव्स यू द आइडिया व्हाट इज फॉरेन इंस्टीट्यूशन थिंकिंग ऑफ द इंडियन कंट्री. Okay, right now we are scared of the India-Pakistan war. I'm also looking, but till the time I don't see any 50,000 crore of selling, I'm not going to sell the market. I'm still a buyer. Yes, yes, Rakesh bhai. Unmute, Rakesh bhai, you have to unmute.
Yeah, this was super interesting and helpful, Shailesh bhai, and I think this was one of the highlight of today's session, which I wanted to stress upon because a lot of time investors and we all miss on the opportunities which are there in front of us just because of the a strong stress or a hangover of markets mood in general. I think it was very important for all of us to understand that what is the market mood in the long term. Moving on from there, Shailesh bhai would like to pick up now the small case what we are talking about today. And I've always seen that you have always been focused on small caps and mid caps. And the general narrative is that small caps come with higher risk, बहुत volatile रहते हैं and all that. And of course, there is lot of data to prove otherwise also. But as you all know, you will always try to see that data what suits your narrative the best. So wanted to now take a deep dive into that I think narrative also that how you uh, shortlist the investing universe of your small caps, how you diversify, and how you ensure that you're not catching the stocks like which are like what do they say like that will fall in price like super volatile and all that. So overall, what is your framework of identifying the stocks which will eventually find its way into discounted gems in the new small case, and maybe the number of stocks you would be taking, how you would be reviewing them. So overall, a framework for all our investors to know.
तो जैसे मैंने पहले भी बताया, हमें सबसे पहले एक देखना है कि वो कंपनी का रेवेन्यू और प्रॉफिट ग्रोथ हो रहा है कि नहीं हो रहा. अगर वो कंपनी का प्रॉफिट एंड रेवेन्यू ग्रोथ हो रहा है एंड द बिजनेस इज स्टेबल, देन ऑब्वियसली वी हैव टू गो बैक टू वैल्यूएशन. जो हम लोग का मंत्र है सस्ता लेना है, द वैल्यूएशन इज की. नाउ द डिस्काउंटेड जेम्स व्हाट वी हैव लॉन्च्ड 23, इट इज अ 23 stock basket. Okay, the average market cap of this is 11,500 crores. So it is not basically, अब ये स्मॉल कैप हमें बोलना पड़ता है, बट एक्चुअली इट इज अ मिड कैप कैटेगरी. सो अगर कोई 11,000 करोड़ का मार्केट कैप है एवरेज, तो उसका रिस्क डेफिनेटली कम है. रिस्क होता है व्हेन द मार्केट कैप इज 1,000 crore, 2,000 crores. तो व्हेन वी से स्मॉल कैप, it comes because of the new SEBI formula. ये small cap में आता है, but actually it is a mid cap category, number one. So risk automatically कम हो जाता है because the market cap is very high.
Okay.
Number two, the average sales growth of these 23 stocks is 26%. Friends, आप अगर many people are watching this, how many people can grow their business at 26%? Please imagine. 26% revenue growth year on year का है इसमें. And the average profit growth of these 23 stocks is 41%. Many people are able to grow sales, but they're not able to grow profits. So company which can grow sales and profit, that means वो company अब next level पे जा चुका. Because बहुत लोग revenue create कर सकते हैं, but profit create करने के लिए you need tremendous intelligence. You need to reduce your expenses. Your product has to be super good, and you need to make profit out of it. That means the customer is ready to pay a higher amount for your product.
Got it.
Okay. Number three is whenever we are doing anything, we have to check. Obviously, the price earning ratio is a very critical factor. ये 23 stock का price earning ratio is only 28. Only 28. These they were all at about 6, इसका जो average P था was at about 45, 46 6 महीना पहले. The same 23 stocks. And now it is available at 28. Okay. But why we are still saying it discounted gems is because obviously सस्ता मिल रहा है आपको and the company is still very good. The company is still in a different good business. Company is still growing in the top line and bottom line, both. So that is why we have termed this discounted gems. जो companies and all the companies, by the way, जो 23 companies हैं, last 3 year return is minimum 100%. मतलब एक भी स्टॉक नहीं है जो 3 साल में 100% के नीचे रिटर्न दिए. And they are available at the end. That means they were one of the top companies in the last 3 years giving returns in the market. So these, I think so, have some element of multi-baggers where they are growing in sales, they are monopoly, and they're also available at a very cheap price, discounted gems. And the risk is curtailed because the valuation is good. And also, if you study the PEG ratio, I don't know if PEG ratio is a very important valuation formula, which is only 0.69. Okay. Another way to diversify, reduce the risk is it has 17 different businesses. I want to name the business. Okay. One is definitely into solar pumps. Shakti pump, jo maine bataya. Solar pump. It has a market share of more than 50%. Okay. Then we have a company on solar panels. Again, then we have a company on water supply management. A great company. Okay. So we have selected about 17 different businesses, one top company from auto component, auto mein this share which we have, is given a return of more than, I'm telling you from the list, it has given a return of more than 350% in the last auto company share. So कोई भी company 100% के नीचे return नहीं दिया, that is why it is a gem and they are available at a very cheap price. I think so this has great elements to become a multi-bagger portfolio. Yes, Rakesh bhai.
So what would you suggest should be the minimum time horizon with which any investor should look to invest in this particular small case, where the kind of expectations what we are right now sharing would more or less meet, considering, of course, the other factors being constant and nothing new comes out of macros.
So, can you ask the question again, Rakesh bhai?
So I'm just looking for a time horizon, that what is the minimum time horizon one should look to invest in this small case.
These are great stocks and they are going to perform. So obviously I'm looking at a time horizon of 1 to 3 years from the investor.
Got it. Interesting. Perfect. So taking this conversation to a different tangent now, I think we get a lot of questions on the behavior side of it as well. So there are two parts to investing, right? One is the kind of companies, the kind of sectors, and all that what you invest, where you as a team always do a great work, right? But then I think there is an equal responsibility on the investor side also, that how they handle the whole experience, because beyond the point you will not have control on the investors' behavior, be it in mutual funds, PMSs, AIFs, or small cases, right? So I think there is a lot of work for us as a community to do around that part as well, that how we can help investors to get evolved on the behavior part also, because I'm sure the markets will not treat you one way always, that lete hi sab upar jayega and all that, and market will throw its own surprises, challenges. I think I would like your wisdom of last 30 years to throw some light on that, and there are some very deep questions on that. So one of the question is like, what are some misconceptions, right, that retail investors have about small cap stocks? Because whenever, and as you rightly said, that most of your stocks are not really small cap. So the idea here is that how retail investors should not get trapped into so-called penny stocks, small cap stocks के अरे यार ये लेते ही एक महीने में डबल हो जाएगा, या 3x हो जाएगा, 10x हो जाएगा. And what are the kind of misconceptions investors have about small cap investing?
So Friends, देखिए, it is the business which decides. It is not small cap, micro cap, or large cap. It is the business. If it is a genuine business, number one. Number two, it's a great product where the product is only available by that company. That differentiates the company. See, any company, Infosys was a small cap, then it became a large cap. Okay, everybody starts small. Maybe they are not listed, but everybody starts small and then becomes big.
Right.
Nobody becomes big on one day. Okay, so we have to identify those. If the businesses are good, the products are good, then we have no risk of the small cap. Now, another very good thing which I want to show in my website to you is where you can reduce the risk is all the stocks which you have, you can see whether the mutual funds are investing in that stock or not. Okay, so I'll take you to a company called Anantaraj. It has fallen about 50% from down. It's one of my favorite stocks. It's a discounted gem. Now there is a shareholding pattern. Okay, can you see the share? 19% is holded by foreign. So you can, once you click that, you can see which are the foreign institutions have invested. If you click it, okay, so Axis Mutual Fund is there, Tata Mutual Fund is there, Tata Indian Opportunity, Kotak Mahindra is there. So if it's a small cap company, you can see whether which mutual funds have invested in this stock. So this will also give you comfort that if 20% of the stock holding is holded by foreign institutions and a mutual fund, that means the risk is not there. When you invest in a company where there is no mutual funds, okay, that company does not have sales growth and profit growth, that company, then there is a risk. So all the companies which we have taken, all the minimum shareholding is actually 9% of all the 23 stocks. We have stocks where mutual fund holding is more than 36%.
Wow.
Okay, all the 23 stocks. The minimum is 9%. Okay, so you can imagine if mutual funds and foreign institution investing 10% in the company, that means it's a great stock. This is a very simple way to understand that don't get scared of small cap. Study the business. If you know the business, then there is nothing to be scared of.
Got it. And how you review your stocks once now that you have created a portfolio of 23 stocks, you have already identified 17 stocks. So I am for sure know that.
23 stocks, Rakesh.
Sorry?
23.
Yeah, 23. So I know for sure that you always eagerly wait for your quarterly results and you always take a fresh look at every quarter, business by business, right? So
Right.
how you evaluate the results and how, because not every quarter can be good for every company. I'm sure every company will go through their ups and downs. So what is that uh, margin of safety where you see that even if the company's results are not that great and you strongly feel that this is a temporary phenomena for a great business, right? So what is your team process looks like on every quarterly results? Like वो research room में क्या होता है quarterly results के?
Friends, the quarterly results is holy grail for us. अगर कोई भी कंपनी का quarterly results में we see degrowth, we exit. That is our exit. People ask me, what is our exit formula? We don't exit by stock prices. We don't follow technical analysis at all. We only follow the results. If there is a degrowth in sales and profit, or the valuations become very high, these are the two major reasons for our exit. So we only do rebalance once in a quarter. You have to trade in our portfolio only, once in a quarter. So out of 23 stocks, 4-5 stocks will go away because we see that we get a better opportunity in the same business, or because we cannot increase our portfolio more than 25 stocks.
Sure.
Portfolio will never be more than 25 stocks. So we always have, there's a new IPO, there is a new there is a new opportunity, and we feel that this opportunity is greater, then we exit one stock or the valuation, or number 3, the degrowth. This is how we decide. So usually we have seen out of in our history, we exit about 4-5 stocks every quarter. and we bring in new 4-5 stocks. That's it. And in the middle, we don't touch because we have done great study on the industry and we have done great study. Even if they do some, they are growing at but a lesser number, we still hold them because we have studied the industry. Like solar industry is super good for the next 10 years. Transmission is very, very good for the next 10 years. Solar pumps is very good for the next 10 years. So even if they grow at less percentage, we hold that stock in the portfolio.
So when you say 4 to 5 stocks get in and out every quarter, is it safe to assume that out of 25 stocks, so if I see my portfolio 1 year down the line, they will be like the portfolio will be totally new to the extent
No,
of
not necessary.
80%?
Not necessary. Maybe that stock which we have taken for 1 quarter, that exits. But some shares may remain, like what we've seen out of 23 stocks, 10 would actually remain for a year actually. Because they're continuously delivering good results,
Got it.
and the valuations are still okay to hold.
Sure. This is pretty interesting because usually what people think that it's a long-term thing and all that, but it's equally important to review it very regularly, and that is where I think small case managers comes really really handy for
Right.
all investors, where there is somebody who is taking charge of your portfolio in reviewing it regularly. And you as an investor can always stay invested in that small case. And of course, like always, I always keep on saying this to all the investor friends that it's not necessary that you have to start your journey with a very large amount. You can always start small with the minimum investment amount, and then of course you can top it up based on the market trends. You can start a SIP on the same portfolio, and that is how you build a very strong portfolio over a period of time. Besides all the valuation advantages and all that, which the research house of value stocks will always do, but I think there is some value add which you can do as an investor on your portfolio. So this is something more on the research side of it. So let's come back to some examples, Sailesh bhai. I know you have already given example of Shakti pumps, but it would be a great way to highlight that maybe 1 or 2 stocks where you had to take a exit on a quarter basis kind of thing, where you felt that yes, it was a great stock, but maybe you ended up landing like it was more like a value trap rather than a strong fundamental thing, because a lot of time valuations do give us those false results के यार बहुत अच्छा है यार सस्ता मिल रहा है and all that, but बहुत बार ऐसा भी होता है कि सस्ता और सस्ता हो जाता है and महंगा और महंगा हो जाता है, but वैल्यू वहां है महंगे वाले में. So if you can give some examples
I'll
where
give you a very good example. We exited Titagarh Railways. So I'll show you the data. Sujit, if you can show Titagarh Railways, वो जब रिजल्ट आया क्या प्राइस था, and open the chart also quickly. Tita Rail. So we were very bullish. We had bought it about 400 rupees. We were holding this stock, and then the data came. Data, please, first page. जिसका डेटा आया था, अगर आप देखेंगे जून क्वार्टर में इसका डेटा आया था, where they had a degrowth of 0.85. Okay, and net profit also went down. The share had already gone up from 200 to 2000 rupees. 1900, 200 से 2000 हो गया था. When the data came, the price was 1650. So there was a degrowth, and the P ratio was 80 that day. जिस दिन ये data आया था, then when we calculate, because the profit was not growing, when we calculate, the P was 80, and we exited the stock at 1650. And उसके बाद अभी ये stock का भाव 750-800 रुपये. Okay, from 1896 the stock went down to about 700 rupees. So the issue is that if you do not exit after a quarterly result, अगर आप कोई भी stock का एक run होता है, it had given a great run from 2022, and especially 2022 September से बहुत अच्छा run देने लग गया. And we exited in 2024 in August. So this is, we kept on holding the stock for more than 1.5, 2 years. But जैसे ही quarterly results आया, and we saw there was a degrowth and the valuation was 80p, we exited at 1650. इसीलिए people don't know how to exit because their knowledge of growth and valuation is very little. So अगर आप देखिए, मैं आपको दिखाता हूं जब रिजल्ट आया था इसका,
या प्लीज।
ये हाई बनाया था एंड इसका रिजल्ट आया था अप्रोक्सीमेटली 30 जून का रिजल्ट, सब कुछ 15 अगस्त तक आ जाता है। तो अगर आप 15 अगस्त भी ले लेंगे, मैक्सिमम डेट ले लिया, 15 August, you're going in September, beta. Come back, please. Thank you. If you study the price, ऊपर में हम लोग ऊपर बेचे थे, ऊपर में देखिए ये वाला, right? So this was where we had sold at 1650. This was the area we had exited actually when the results came. And see what happened to the stock. So every quarter, agar aap valuation, it's like a holy grail. If you are an investor and if you do not see quarterly results, you do not see agar wo degrowth hua hai aur uska P80 ho gaya hai, and if you don't exit, then there'll be you will lose a big thing. And that is why we are in the 4 year, if you study, we are in the top 10. Our most of our strategies, and we most of our strategies are in the top 15 in small case in last 4 years, because we have been able to exit very clearly with fundamentals, not with technicals. You have to unmute, Rajshmi.
No, got it. This is pretty interesting. I think more than entry, I think exits are equally important as they always say. Uh, and more importantly, I think it's very important what you buy, when to buy, and how much you buy is also important,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
So that brings me to the next question. Like a lot of people, they end up buying a lot of different stocks, a lot of different portfolios, but they don't buy meaningful enough, which can move the needle for them at a portfolio level. तो कोई स्टॉक ले भी लिया, वो 100 का 200 हो भी गया, जब पूछा जाता है कि कितने का लिया था तो बोला 50,000 रुपये का लिया था, पोर्टफोलियो कितने का है, 50 लाख का। नाउ हाउ डज दैट मैटर कि वो 50,000 का लाख रुपया भी हो गया, बट वो पोर्टफोलियो हिला नहीं है उधर से, राइट? सो हाउ वन शुड एलोकेट his or her capital towards a particular portfolio, say like yours, where it becomes some meaningful contribution to the overall portfolio performance and still taking care of the risk as well.
Okay, I'll tell you one thing जो मैंने आपको कभी बताया नहीं. Smallcase has done the greatest favor to the investor community. मैं आप सबको बता रहा हूं उन्होंने क्या अच्छा किया है. आप जो एक साथ पोर्टफोलियो खरीदते हैं, दैट इज द बिगेस्ट सेवियर इन्वेस्टर्स, दैट इज द बिगेस्ट सेविंग ग्रेस. क्योंकि व्हेन यू बाय वन स्टॉक यू आर रिस्किंग अ लॉट, बट स्मॉल केस ने आपको पोर्टफोलियो लेना सिखाया. ऑल द मैनेजर्स दे हैव पोर्टफोलियोज, 10 स्टॉक, 15 स्टॉक, 20 स्टॉक, 25 स्टॉक का. जब आप पोर्टफोलियो खरीदते हैं, what happens is you're not putting all your eggs in one basket. So I think so the greatest service Smallcase has done to the investor community is they have made it easy for people. जैसे एक स्टॉक खरीदते हैं, एक बटन खरीदते हैं और हम लोग का पूरा 25 स्टॉक आ जाते हैं. That is the greatest service what Smallcase has done to the investor community. Friends, अगर आप कोई भी फंड मैनेजर को देखिए, वो एक स्टॉक, चाहे वॉरेन बुफे हो, चाहे इंडिया का सबसे बड़ा फंड मैनेजर हो, रामदेव जी हो, कोई भी हो, सबके पास 25-30 स्टॉक है. एंड नो फंड मैनेजर कैन गारंटी कि वो एक स्टॉक चलेगा. बट उन लोग क्या करते हैं, आप स्मॉल केस क्या हेल्प कर रहा है, या स्मॉल के मैनेजर्स हम लोग को क्या हेल्प कर रहे हैं, कि जब हम एक साथ 20-25 स्टॉक्स लेते हैं, एज अ फंड मैनेजर में 25 स्टॉक में अगर गलत हो गया तो मुझे फंड मैनेजमेंट छोड़ देना चाहिए. So the biggest benefit is all the fund managers are bringing 25 stocks at one click. तो आपका risk divide हो रहा है. So friends, please stop investing in individual stocks. Start investing in small case portfolios. क्योंकि वो फंड मैनेजर का 25 स्टॉक तो गलत नहीं होगा सर.
Right.
अगर वो सेबी रजिस्टर्ड फंड मैनेजर, गलती नहीं हो सकता है उसका. मैं ये सब फंड मैनेजर के लिए बोल रहा हूँ, सिर्फ मेरे लिए नहीं बोल रहा हूँ. I'm giving the credit to all the small case fund managers and small case particularly.
Interesting. No, this is interesting. So just I was just going through the chat. So just wanted to take this opportunity to clarify also certain things. So there is a concern or a question from Mr. Amarnath Vavre, where his concern is that 2.5% of the total investment value fees is too high. So just wanted to clarify, Amarnath ji, here. The fees is fixed, so it's a very reasonable fees which Shailesh Bhai has kept for the benefit of all the investors, which is 5,000 and 12,000 respectively for 3 months and 12 months. Now, the interesting thing is that the minimum investment is 57,000. The reason being so that at least you can start the journey. Nothing stops you to invest more. The fee still remains the same. So, looking this fees from the percentage of total investment lens is not the right way to look at it. So, even if you invest 10 lakh rupees, the fee still remains the same, which is 12,000 rupees. So, suddenly you will say it's 1.2% of the investment amount. So not a right way to look at it. Having said that, would not like to miss this opportunity as well. That because this is a new launch and where value stocks is always pro investors and they want more and more investors to participate. Of course, the fees should be the last blocker for somebody to invest in a great small case like discounted gems. And that is where value stocks was kind enough to offer a promo code for all the investors which has been shared on the chat. It's VSDGF25, Value Stocks Discounted Gems Fund 25. So please have a look at that promo code on your chat window on the YouTube comment section. And I'm sure everybody will be benefited from this whole opportunity of this small case. So I just thought, Shailesh bhai, to clarify this so that there is no doubt on the uh, fees part of it. Again, there is a gentleman, Mr. Sadbir Singh, has asked one question that besides whatever research you have been doing, do you even consider return on equity and return on capital employed for the stock to be considered in your portfolio?
Yes, definitely. So if you study all our stocks, the return equity is more than 15, barring 1 and 2 where the growth is very high. Okay. So return on equity is very critical. Like Shakti Pump has an ROE of 24. Okay. Now, if you study ITT Cementation has an ROE of 20. So we have all the stocks. The average team, can you tell me the average return on equity? I can tell them of 23 stocks. So we can tell them officially the average ROE. Sujit, if you can unmute and just tell what is the average ROE of all the 23 stocks.
Yes, sir.
So I'll tell you the average ROE of all the stocks so that you know that the ROE is very, very high. We definitely consider ROE. That is one of the important parameters for investment. Thank you, Singh Saab, for this question.
Yeah. So again, Mr. Vipul is asking a question that is minimum amount 57,000? Yes, Vipul bhai, the amount is calculated based on the number of stocks and the allocations what value stocks has assigned to each stock. So of course, in Indian context, we cannot buy fractional shares so far. So minimum एक share तो अगर लेना ही पड़ेगा जो भी allocation के हिसाब से. Based on that, the number which is derived by small case platform as a calculation is 57,000. That उसके नीचे वो portfolio बनेगा ही नहीं. So that is where you start your journey. You can start your journey with 2 lakh, 5 lakh, whatever is your desired amount. And as I just mentioned on the earlier question also, there is no upper limit to invest any amount in this small case. Of course, you have to consult your financial advisor as well from the allocation point of view, that how much you want to allocate to this particular strategy and all that. So all that information, I'm sure you can consult with your financial advisor. But from operations point of view or from execution point of view, the amount you want to invest will be of your choice. At regular intervals, you can do top-ups whenever you feel like when the market is throwing some opportunities. You can set up SIPs. And if you are in need of money and based on your goals and all that, you can even take a partial exit from the small case without taking a full exit. So all the best practices of investing are aligned with this product. As always, like small case form factor. So I think it gives you a lot of flexibility to invest in this small case and without worrying too much about keeping a track of the stocks and all that, because as Shailesh bhai just mentioned that every quarter there will be a very, very active rebalance. So you will be communicated via all channels, be it WhatsApp, be it a push notification, be it on an email, that your fund manager has reviewed your portfolio and click here to rebalance. So again, the experience will be a single click rebalance where you don't really have to put in any details of your order and all that. And I think that is where Smallcase as a partner really comes to your savior in terms of the overall execution experience, so that you are always on top of your portfolio of investment, whatever you have done so far. So this.
That is why the Singh Saab ko bole, the average ROE is 20.
Okay. So, Mr. Sadbir Singh, to answer your question, while the team was working in the backdrop to get you that number, the average ROE of the
Of 23 stocks, yeah, 20.
of this 2023 stocks is around 20. And this is where the research will do a job to ensure that uh, it comes within those parameters as a portfolio as well. A follow-up question by Sadbir Singh again, that if I have to invest 100 rupees, do you recommend going in a staggered manner for a small case, or can put 100 right away? I think, Sadbir ji, it's a very personal choice, but as two pieces to it, and maybe on behalf of Shailesh bhai, if I can take that liberty to answer this. One, if you remember in the first section itself, Shailesh bhai mentioned about the data trend and all that, that what market looks like. So from that point of view, of course, lump sum helps. But then if your inflows or your cash inflows allows you to put in a staggered manner, I think even that is a great approach. So it all depends on how your cash flows are designed. So whatever you want to invest, you can start your invest right now, and over a period of time, you can do top up and SIPs as well.
I want to share one thing, Singh Saab, I want to share one thing, and this is for all the investors. कमाना है अगर आपको इन्वेस्टमेंट में, जब भी बाजार में मंदी आता है उस समय इन्वेस्ट करें, बिकॉज स्टॉक्स बिजनेस विल रिमेन एंड उनका दाम बढ़ता ही है. इफ यू बाय गुड स्टॉक, जब भी मंदी आता है, कर जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल, गॉड फॉरबिड, अभी इंडिया पाकिस्तान का वॉर का चांसेस दिख रहा है, अभी गिरा जोर से, बाजार एक दिन गिरता है, 2-3 दिन. जब भी बाजार में थोड़ा पैनिक होता है, प्लीज इन्वेस्ट मनी. उस समय मैं देखता हूं इन्वेस्टर पैसा नहीं लगाते, उस समय पैसा लगाना चाहिए इन गुड पोर्टफोलियोज. दिस इज माय रिकमेंडेशन ऑलवेज टू मेक बिग मनी इन द स्टॉक मार्केट.
Interesting. Mahesh Jain is asking, and of course, this is for small case. Do we have to open an account with your designated brokerage firm? So, Mahesh ji, we have 18 brokers already integrated with small case. So, if you have a brokerage account with any of these brokers, you can straight away go and invest in the small case via that broker account. So, you don't have to really open a new account if you have one of these 18 brokerage houses with you. And in case for some reason you don't have an account with one of these 17, 18 brokers, I'm sure you can open an account with any broker of your choice. And today, with the technology in place, you can open an account in just 10, 15 minutes online. So that shouldn't be, again, a blocker for you to go ahead with these small cases. Vipul is asking a question, and it is more to do with your research. Uh, is there any sectoral cap where you have in your portfolio when you design this 23 stocks portfolio? जैसे आपने solar बताया, water supply
So
बताया.
if you see the fact sheet,
Yeah.
we have about 17 different businesses, 17 different. So it's a very, very well diversified. हम लोग one sector say we try to find the best one stock. That is the beauty of this portfolio. We
Got it.
don't try to buy two stocks from the same sector.
Interesting. So I think we are heading towards the end section of our webinar. And I must say, Shailesh bhai, it was an amazing, very interactive, and I think we were able to take a lot of interesting questions as well. So maybe I want to leave investors with certain nudges, or should I say nothing much to do with stocks and all that, but more those nudges which help people take the right decision. So if I have to ask certain questions, and maybe if you can answer in say one word, one line, whatever, which we just give investors a clarity about what to do. So current market sentiment in one word for you.
It's clearly a buy right now.
Perfect.
Until unless the Pakistan war gets into a big trouble. And I will, if the data goes to 50,000 crore sell, I will again be selling.
Avoid small case stock
If there is no sales growth, there is no profit growth.
got it. One red flag that instantly disqualifies a stock for you.
See, if any company which is in loss, don't buy it. Don't buy loss-paying companies until unless the revenue growth is more than 50%.
Got it.
So I really avoid until as if the revenue is very high, then I buy loss-making companies.
A small cap sector that is quietly building momentum. आवाज ही नहीं
The,
होगा लेकिन अंदर
the,
अंदर बढ़ रहा है वो.
so the sector is solar cells. So Vari, there are three companies अभी listed में Vari, Premier Energies and Websol. I think the solar cell manufacturing, India only has 1% market cap. China is 80%. So that sector will really boom. More than 50 listed companies will be there in the next 10 years. And I think so Vari Energies and Premier, which is not, it's a large cap stock. It is not part of this portfolio. Okay. It's part of my blue chip portfolio. And looks like the next Reliance for the next 10 years.
Okay. Now, this is something interesting. Like, what was the first stock you have ever bought? Do you remember that? कि पहला स्टॉक कौन सा था लाइफ का? पैसा बना था नहीं बना था वो भी पूछ लूंगा लेकिन पहला स्टॉक कौन सा था?
It was Infosys Technology.
Okay. And how is your experience of that first stock?
It is good only. हम लोगों को तो मालूम नहीं था इतना बड़ा बन जाएगा. हम लोग तो होल्ड नहीं कर पाए. To be honest, I was not able to hold that stock.
Right, right. Tell me something.
And I think so the first stock when I did not invest for myself, but because I was a broker, I bought from my customers Master Share. पहले एक Master Share होता था. That was my first stock which I bought from my customer. I
Yes,
still remember.
yes, yes. So we have been talking about a lot of valuations and ROE, ROC, profits and all that. Tell me something, maybe with some stock example, when valuations have seemed to be too good to be true, then what is that one or two things which you check? कि यार सब कुछ बहुत ज्यादा ही सही लग रहा है. What is that one or two things then you go beyond and check which validates or which says कि नहीं, boss, this was too good to be true.
You have to study the business, which is a subjective work, which is a very subjective work. You have to know the business. Matlab, I have a report for all the 23 stocks, a detailed report. I would actually like to show you one report,
Yes, please.
because so that you can really understand what kind of analysis you need to do to buy a stock. Can you just show one report, Sujit, for Shakti Pump? Can you see all the stock which we have? We have a detailed report. Now, this is the kind of report we prepare for every stock actually. Shakti Pump, yeah. So if you see the founding history, the core business, we are not going to detail. I'm just showing you, what does it do? What does it do in solar pump? Just read the yellow, the geographical presence, the patent they have. I'm quickly. Different patents, then the manufacturing strengths, competitive advantage, dimensions, export capabilities, strategic positioning. So this is what we do differently. All the 23 stock goes to this kind of business analysis, every stock. And that gives you the conviction to hold it for the next 5 to 10 years.
Interesting. So before I take my last question, which will be more of a non-investing one, I want to take one more question from Naresh. So Naresh is asking, sir, some value stock hidden gems are exited and some new ones are added. Has the business of this existing stock exited stocks changed? You have already answered why you exit stocks based on the quarterly results, but if you can share some more color on that.
Friends, I said that every quarter, if I get a better opportunity, I get a better hidden gem, or three things give me. Number one, if there is a degrowth. Okay. Number two, if the valuation becomes higher. Number three, I get a better opportunity. So these are three reasons why we change 4-5 stocks. Friends, remember, today, what is long-term investing? Long-term investing means you're always invested in a stock. It does not mean that you're invested in the same stock. And that is where Smallcase comes very handy. We just do one button and we're always in. So we are invested in 23 stock, which is the best, which looks for the next quarter. So I feel because of many algorithms, because of AI, Now the time is gone where you will keep a stock and then you believe that those stocks will do up one well after 1 2 years. Times have changed. You
Got
have to do quarter and quarter. Times have really changed, I'm telling you.
Got it. So before we end this interesting session, last question again. I always say last question, but I'm really glad that we are getting so many questions, and that says a lot that how people are keen and interested in this small case and spending their valuable time on Sunday. So Sanjay Kale is asking, what is the upper amount of investing in this small case? 30 lakh, 40 lakh, 50 lakh. So Sanjay bhai, just I would like to take this opportunity to answer. Again, as I said, amount can be anything technically, but at the end of the day, it should be a certain allocation of your overall portfolio to this strategy, which you have to consult with your financial advisor. So operationally and technically, any amount is possible to invest in this small case, but somewhere I'm sure it's your hard-earned money. So it's always good to consult a financial advisor from the allocation perspective. Uh, so this is from our side for the day. And last thing, I know today we got a bit late, and I know the reason why. Maybe I'll ask Shailesh bhai, and I am expecting that I'll get that same answer. So Shailesh bhai, one non-investing habit that helps me or helps you to be a better investor.
Meditation, friends. I say I'm a pranic healer and I'm an instructor. I teach pranic healing from 20 years. So meditation is very important. The stress levels are so high, and everybody knows when you have stress, medically you release cortisol, and that is not good for the brain. So meditation really increases dopamine, happy hormones in your system, and you're more happier and you're more calmer. And when you're doing research, you have to be calm.
Perfect. I think this is what I was expecting, and I got some more detail into that because I was not aware of so much technical part of that meditation. Word पे ही हमारी दुनिया खत्म हो जाती थी. But what you just shared really makes made sense, and I got inspired to at least start my journey there on meditation, and I will take some more pro tips from you as well in coming days. So thanks a lot, Salesh bhai. I think this was one of the most interesting session. I at least enjoyed a lot, especially because the reason why I'm so happy is that I got to uh, involve so many people, so many questions came our way where we could answer most of them. Really appreciate your time. And Salesh bhai, with that, I would like you to share your closing remarks, and then we can call it a day.
So friends, very good. It's a fantastic discounted gems product. 23 stock ka hai. Great sales growth, profit growth, ROE available at a 28p. All stocks are very good. So hopefully that you will trust and you will invest in the discounted gems. This is my final remark.
Before I forget, the name of the small case is Discounted Gems. So, to start your journey, we have provided a discount code as well. So, please do use that discount code and make the most of it. Thanks a lot once again to everybody, and wish you a great weekend. Have a great day today, and happy investing. Thank you.
Thank you, Rakesh bhai. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.